Original post, January 2, 2024. I, 34 female, have been with my husband, 41 male, for 15 years, and married for 11 years of those years. We have a 7-year-old daughter. We have been intimate maybe once a year since our daughter was born. I'm always the one that has to initiate any type of intimacy. When we do, it's hard to get him to stay up and it's a lot of work on my end. He's seen a doctor and there are no issues with labs, and he won't take the little blue pill, because he says he doesn't need it and doesn't have an issue. My husband has always blamed our lack of intimacy on our daughter since she slept in the bed with us. I'll try to get him to go in a different room and there's always some excuse like he's too tired, but then he will go up to our game room and play his video games. Our daughter has slept in her own room for over 6 months now and nothing has changed. His excuse is still, well, our daughter has slept in the bed with us all this time. My husband is a good person and a good dad. He works hard for his family, he works 60 hours a week, but besides paying the bills, that's the extent of it. He says he's tired and tells me I don't understand the stress of having to take care of the family financially. I work 40 hours a week, have a small business, make all of our appointments, do anything related to our daughter, I'm a classroom mom, on PTO, and do all household chores. I do all laundry, cleaning, make meals, grocery shopping, take vehicles for oil changes, yard work, I mow and take care of 2.5 acres, and take trash cans out. I do pay some of our bills and I pay for all of our daughter's extracurricular activities, which definitely adds up. He just thinks my load of work and contributions does not amount to what he does. This past week I got on his phone, because he saves reels on Facebook for me, normally funny stuff and recipes he wants me to try. I saw in his search history all of these hot girls and groups he's been looking at, which really pushed me over the edge. I confronted him about it and he says he doesn't look that stuff up, and I told him I'm not naive and it's clear as day. Then the next day he says yeah, he clicks on those girls' profiles and groups because he's a man and likes to look. He's been locking his game room recently while in there, and when he says he's sleeping I know he's playing his PlayStation, and I guess now he also looks at these different profiles. I've seen lotion up there a long time ago while cleaning and had asked him about it and he swears he's not jerking it, but I'm not stupid and naive. I really just hate being lied to. He says I'm a hypocrite because I watch porn, but I wouldn't watch porn and take care of my needs if he would be intimate with me. It's also not like I'm going to a specific person or their profile when I do pull up a video. I've also been honest with him that I masturbate and watch porn. I admit I am a hypocrite, and guess I'm just hurt, because it just seems it's me. To me, it feels like he's not attracted to me or just doesn't seem to want me. He says he doesn't really have a drive, and that's what I had thought, but after seeing what he likes to click on I feel he just doesn't have a drive towards me. Looks-wise people tell him he definitely leveled up. Overall, I take care of myself and put effort into my looks. I'm definitely not the hottest or most beautiful, but I'm not bad looking. He's overweight, short, and balding. Why do I feel like now I don't look good enough for him or excite him enough to be with? I told him I want him to get rid of all of the gaming stuff, and to not be locked upstairs, and to spend more time with me and our family, or it's time for us to divorce. He said he's not giving up his gaming stuff and doesn't see how that's the problem. He told me that I'm going to ruin our family, because all I want is intimacy. I'm just tired of begging. I feel I shouldn't be begging for intimacy, affection, and him being present with his family. I do so much for everyone and I'm tired of not getting anything in return. I'm tired of putting my wants and needs last. I'm tired of begging him to hang out with us and do family stuff. The only thing that excites him is to go upstairs in the game room and play his video games, and I guess now I know he likes to do other stuff as well. We've done the counseling stuff here and there and it gets better for a bit but then goes back to our normal. So, am I the asshole and a hypocrite? Am I in the wrong and taking things too far? Edit. To add to this about our child sleeping in the bed with us. We both allowed her to sleep in the bed with us. I had tried to boot her out to her own room sooner, but my husband kept saying she wasn't ready. She'd cry and it was a lot of work and bribery to get her into her own room. Edit 2. There are definitely two sides to every story and you're just getting mine. We both have different love languages. Mine is affection and physical touch and his is acts of service. He likes a clean and tidy house, and I do my best to keep up with everything home-wise. I tried talking to him about what makes me happy and what I want, but he's not listening to me. I feel like a spoiled brat at times because yes, he provides financially well for us and I don't go without. It just sucks. I want to be seen again. We used to be such a team and it's a pissing contest of who does what. My husband really isn't a bad person or dad. Our daughter is definitely a daddy's girl, mostly because I'm the disciplinary parent that makes sure she has to brush teeth, do schoolwork, etc. on our days off together. He'll do a few things with us and then say he needs to get some rest, but he goes upstairs and video games. He really does work too much. He says he works so much because he wants to make sure we're taken care of if something happens to him. Which his dad was never there, and his mom did struggle when he grew up. Update 1, January 4, 2024. I am overwhelmed by the response from my first post and appreciate the feedback. I wasn't expecting to write an update this soon or even at all. Also, I realized as I was blindly rage writing my issues to a bunch of strangers I didn't write the title properly, so I corrected it in this post update. Yesterday I messaged my husband the following. Why should we stay together, just for our daughter? What do you love about me besides being a good mother and wife? What do you like about me? What are things you want from our relationship that you're not getting besides financial? What do you think I contribute to our relationship? Do you really not want intimacy or a physical relationship? Do you think that's not an issue? I need a physical and intimate relationship. Am I not attractive to you? Do you not desire me? Please be honest. Why do you hide the fact that you masturbate? Why can't you see why I'm upset and that my feelings are valid? You think I'm upset over nothing. I feel you take my words as if they are water being poured into a colander. You hold no value to what I say. Why can't you see my pain? You think this is easy on me? Have I thrown too many empty threats to you that you don't take this and what I say seriously? Where can we go from here? Can we work it out? Sometimes my issue is that you can't be honest with me that there's an issue. I hate when you don't take accountability and place blame elsewhere. We're adults, we make mistakes, and we should take accountability for what we say and do. I know I'm not who I was, and I don't love who I am right now. I don't like nagging, yelling, and begging. Begging you for help, attention, and affection. I'll go back to get a better paying job and help more with finances if we decide to move forward. In return, you'll have to help more with our family. Help worry about finding a sitter for our daughter, who's picking her up from school. You'll need to help and call out when she's sick, take off for field trips, help make her lunches, take her to extracurriculars, and help more with daily tasks. He never responded. Instead, I saw where he played over 3 hours on his PlayStation. To me that speaks volumes. Many of the original post responses talk about how I just want intimacy and that's really not it. I want to feel loved and longed for. I want our relationship to be where we are a team again and it no longer feels like a pissing contest of who does what. I guess we are past that point of working things out. Now my concern is how to make this an easy transition for my daughter. I will continue to put a smile on my face and hold back my pain, because as a parent how she feels and what she sees comes first. I don't want her to feel blame or to be sad. I know it won't be easy, but thank you strangers for your advice even when some of it stung a little. As I've said I know it's hard to have an opinion when you're only getting one side. I'm not an angel in any of this and take accountability for my parts for the ending of this chapter. I guess it's time to move on. Relevant comments. Comment 1, I can totally empathize. Sounds like he's not even open or appreciative of kind things you're trying to do for him. Well, then the only other thing I could think of is trying to get him to open up to what's making him unhappy to where he needs to escape to his games every waking moment. Put the onus on him to explain what he feels he is not getting that causes him to game non-stop. When I gamed, I would still make time for my family, and it sounds like he won't. You may have already made up your mind, but if you're still on the fence, pushing aside your hurt and concerns temporarily and finding out from his perspective why he is checking out and gaming, might give you some insight. I'm guessing he wasn't always this way? Something seems to be fundamentally not working. Couples therapy could help, but a lot of therapists are not that great. Not sure if it's an option, but maybe a separation or leaving for a few weeks could make him wake up. Barring that, if you do go through a divorce, I wish you the best of luck. They are not fun. OP, this was his response a day later, if I don't make you happy then I don't want to force something that's not going to make you happy. I'm fine with what you want to do. I do love you and I shouldn't have to prove that after being together for 14 years. We can go our ways. I will financially support you and Landry to the best of my ability. Only have a few requests. Wherever you decide to move, please stay within 30 miles of each other so I can see Landry and I can help better. I can pay your mortgage on a $250,000 house if you put $100,000 down and will of course pay for whatever Landry needs. When we sell the house, I want $100,000 and you can have everything else. I need you to pay the Tesla off. I owe $33,000. We need to at least get $600,000 for our home if not more. I hate that it's come down to this, but will help you achieve happiness as long as we can agree on some terms with our child and finances. Update 2, August 11, 2024, 7 months later. Hey my fellow Redditors. Sorry to ghost Reddit for a bit. I'm honestly not exactly sure where I left off at, but here are the most recent updates. I don't exactly know the best place to put updates, but figured I'd just make another post. After my second post, I had found some thyroid nodules and thankfully they are non-cancerous, but I will still need to have a procedure to have them shrunk. My husband found out about them and was upset I did not tell him what I was going through medically. After that, we spoke again about if he asked if we could reconcile and we did our best to address our concerns and we have been trying to work on things. He no longer plays his PlayStation, watches Korn, or stays upstairs in our game room. I started working more and contributing more financially, especially with all of the extra medical costs from all of the labs, testing, and needing to save for the cost of the procedure. Since I work more, he has been helping out with household duties and being a present parent. We are working on things, actually being intimate, working on our health, and communicating more. After my possible cancer scare, I realized life is just too short to not enjoy it. I told him I am no longer giving energy to argue, be angry, and be around people that are more negative than positive in my life. He knows if we aren't going on the same path then I am not going to stay in our marriage. Like many said, it's not healthy for our daughter to be with parents who stay together just for the sake of our child. He's finally listened to me and has started going to the doctor. He's on a CPAP for sleep apnea, lost 60 pounds, and taking cholesterol medication. He now overall seems to be in a better mood. He told me he really didn't realize how long he would stay up watching the PlayStation and how that affected his sleep as well, and has apologized for being so blind. I can tell he's trying and is making efforts to be more involved and present as a husband and father. He is also taking lots more initiative in our relationship. He initiates intimacy and actually is back to foreplay, and I feel like we are truly intimate again. I really think with the amount of masturbating he had death grips syndrome, and that's why he had a hard time keeping an erection, which was what ultimately led to the dead bedroom. The bedroom is fun again and I feel like we are how we were before having a kid. We've started doing lots of little things together like watching our weekly shows, having date nights, and we even took a week-long trip with just the two of us, and we had a great time. I'm not saying everything is perfect, because we have our days, but we are on a very good path. I don't believe in throwing away something broken until I've given my all to repair it. It's so easy to throw something away and start over with something new. Marriage is teamwork and both partners have to be willing to put in equal parts of effort to make it last. I hate it took the big wake-up calls to get here, but I'm glad where we're at in life. Again, I appreciate all of you in this Reddit community. Story 2. My husband chose his PlayStation over our marriage. Original post, July 16, 2024. My 36 female husband, 42 male, is currently in Las Vegas for a national bowling tournament. He is there with his mom, her friends, and folks from their bowling league. He is an avid bowler, bowls in a Tuesday night league, often in state tournaments and sometimes in national tournaments. Typically, I go with, and sometimes bowl myself. This year, we decided I would not go, but stay home with our 3 boys, ages 4, 8, and 10, due to heat and smoke in Vegas in July. My husband and I have been married for 11 years. This is his second marriage. His first marriage failed because he walked in on his wife cheating on him with another man. I have never, not once, thought that he would ever be intimate with another woman while he was with me. He's just not that type. So, on to this trip. Typically, when he goes on a trip without me, at least one a year given my job and time off requirements, he stays in a hotel room with his mom or our boys. 3 nights ago, I was on FaceTime with him while he was in his hotel room. It was really nice, and he was talking about possibly taking a nap for lack of sleep. I asked if he had his room to himself and he said, "Oh no, someone is sharing with me." I asked him who that was, and he said something I don't remember aside from she. I said, "Wait, what?" And then he went on to explain that he was supposed to share the room with his mom's boyfriend, but plans changed and now he is sharing the room with another woman on the trip. He told me that I played cornhole with her last month at a get-together. I reminded him who I had played cornhole with, him and a girl, but not one with the name he was giving me. I have no idea who this woman is, at which point he got very confused. He did not understand why I was upset or frustrated, so I dropped it because I did not want to deter from his time and his bowling. I know I should have asked how he would have felt if the roles were reversed, but I didn't. Partly because I didn't want to fight while the kids were up, and partly because I didn't want to hear him chalk it up to my imagination. I have hardly slept since that night. My dreams have been chock full of worst-case scenarios, and still, I have not really brought it up again. There have been a few occasions in which he has talked about taking naps and how lame he is in Vegas. I have mentioned a few times, sort of sarcastically as a side, that he would be having more fun if he were sharing a room with me, or if I was there instead of his present company, but he has brushed it all aside. So here we are, he has spent the last 3 nights in a hotel room with a woman that is not me or his mother. Am I the asshole for being upset? Edit. Okay, so I took some advice and grew a backbone. I texted him a little while ago instead of waiting until he got home. He and our boys are leaving for another trip tomorrow morning. I could not get the time off of work, so I wanted to make sure we had the conversation fully before he left again. Before I give the update, I wanted to make a couple of things clear. I do trust my husband. He has never shown he would be the kind of person to cheat, and that is not what truly concerned me. Even though I did have some pretty unpleasant dreams. My issue was that he was not upfront and honest with me. If I had done the same thing, he would have lost his mind, understandably. This is why I started the original post with, "He's just not that type." We do generally have great communication. The issue here is that I like to have this kind of conversation face to face rather than over the phone. It's just not something I like to hash out while we are not in the same space. Obviously, in this situation, I should have made the exception, and have now done so. Now, for the update. I texted him today to tell him that this situation has been bothering me for the last 3 days. I had questions, and we needed to have this conversation. I asked who the woman was, how old she was, and why didn't he tell me about the situation before I found out by accident. There was a mix-up with the rooms, something about someone not going, so people were shuffled. He was paired with a woman about my age. He said he didn't think it would be a big deal and didn't want to inconvenience everyone else on the trip. He also said he did not want to upset me, which is why he didn't outright tell me about it. He did tell me that I never had anything to worry about, and he made sure they weren't in the room alone together aside from when they were sleeping. I know, but I really do believe him on this. I was honest with him and told him that if roles were reversed, out of respect for him, I would have called him right away to make sure he was okay with it. I told him that while I trust him implicitly, I should not have found out the way that I did. And he should not have blown off my concern. I told him that the lack of upfront communication felt suspicious, regardless of intention or what actually happened. As for not upsetting me, I told him I would have understood and not been upset if he had just been honest. He has apologized profusely. I told him next time to just communicate. He is adamant there will not be a next time. So, call me naive if you want, but I am dropping it at this point. He will be home this evening and I intend on having a nice evening with him before I don't see him again for another 2 weeks. Thank you for the advice. I cried when I found out her age, but getting this off my chest has been very relieving. Update 2, July 25, 2024. I am not handling this as well as I thought I was. I had decided to let it go. I know he wasn't doing anything with this other woman. You can disagree and call me crazy if you'd like, but I do know that. However, as much as I have tried, I can't get past the fact that he made the decision to do something he knew I wouldn't be okay with, and not tell me about it. It all feels so messed up. I have talked to a few of my coworkers. I don't have really any friends that aren't friends of his that I talk to on a regular basis, and there is no way I will talk to my family because that is a storm I can handle right now, and they are all shocked and more angry for me than I have let myself be. Most of them know him, the kind of person he is, and what ended his first marriage. He used to work at the same company. We had less than 24 hours together before he, his mom, and all 3 of my children took their trip to the other side of the United States. I have been sitting in my feels and will continue to do so until they get back, almost another week from now. I was on the phone with them this evening before they went to bed, and one of the first things my husband said to me was, "I'm sharing a bed with a redhead tonight." And I almost became unglued before I realized he was talking about one of our boys. After a very long pause, I said, "You better be talking about our son," and I was so angry. I don't understand how he didn't pick up on that. Every conversation we have had has been short and to the point because I'm really just not interested in talking to him. I have been calling my oldest son, and talking with my boys instead. His mom hasn't really said much to me, which makes me think he has said something to her. Which is fine, of course, I really don't care about that. Bottom line is, I don't know what to do. It is midnight at home. I tried to go to bed 2 hours ago and just could not stop sobbing, so I got up and let it go. It felt good to get it out, but I know I need to talk to someone. I have support lines through work I can call, but won't tonight. Far too many drinks and I don't want to bring that into it as well, but I will call tomorrow. I know I should be upset and angry and not let it go. But I am afraid when I do talk to a professional, they will say I'm blowing it out of proportion. I will still call, but I need to get my head straight first. He is bicycling for 7 days, over 400 miles, so as much as I want to tear him a new one right now, especially after his completely insensitive and clueless joke this evening, I have not. Because I want him home safe and sound. Regardless of my feelings in this moment, the most important thing is that my children's dad comes home safe so we can hash this out at least in the same city and not while he is 1,000 miles away. With his mom. And my children. Update 3, August 8, 2024. I am sorry it has been a bit since I have updated, things have been a lot. I am also sorry this post is very long. My family came home a day early, so I took 2 extra days off of work to see them and figure things out with my husband. After we had unloaded and put everything away, we had dinner and watched a show. After putting the boys to bed, my husband and I went to our room. It was pretty clear he thought he was going to get lucky, because he was very confused when I turned the light on. I told him that I had questions, and I needed him to answer them. He was hesitant but agreed. I asked him who this woman is, how old, and is she married. I still don't know who she is, but he did confirm she is younger than me, and not married. I then asked who made the decision he would be sharing a room with her. He said that his mom said it would be really great if they shared so she could spend the 3 nights with her boyfriend. I asked him why he didn't tell me about it. He said he was just so tired and had had such a long day he didn't think about it. Conflicting with his earlier, "I didn't want to upset you." He said that he didn't think I would ever question his intentions, so why would he think he would have to tell me? I told him it wasn't about questioning his intentions or fidelity, it's that what they did was completely inappropriate and disrespectful to me and our marriage. And at the absolute very least, he should have sent me a quick text explaining the situation. I also told him that his mom is not always right. He apologized profusely, said he shouldn't have put his mom before me, he didn't think it would be a thing because he would never try to hurt me, and he thought I knew that. All the things. And we honestly talked it out and worked through things for a solid few hours. We came to a really good place and connected for the first time in a long while. Then he went to work the next day, which hurt because I didn't really have the time to be calling in. I am severely behind at work, but I did anyway because I wanted to do the right thing for us and to take care of us. But because he just spent 2 weeks going all over the country doing something super fun, and now he is super behind in his job, he couldn't afford to take any more time off. So that really hurt, but I let it go because he really was behind and I at least had the boys that I got to catch up with. That day my mom called to see what we were doing for my birthday, which was 2 days away. I had honestly forgotten about it with everything, so I told her I didn't know and asked if my husband had called her. She said he had not. So I told her I would let her know when we came up with a plan. That night, I asked him if he had a plan, and he said, "Oh, I don't know, what do you want to do?" And that really hurt, but I let it go because we have had so much going on. I told him it would be great if we had a barbecue and he invited people and got the groceries and he agreed. I specifically asked if he would call my mom. He did get some of the groceries, but not all of them. And he did surprise me with a cake. But that was it. I ended up inviting everyone last minute, having to apologize along the way, and had to go to the store twice to get the rest of the things we needed. At the party, he started showing our friends the pictures from his trip, pictures I haven't even seen yet. I was so mad, upset, frustrated. He didn't catch on. So then it came time for gifts. His was a card game and a back rub. I felt like I was just slapped in the face. To be clear, I don't place a high value on gifts. If you get me something great, if you don't, that's fine. But he didn't get me anything for Mother's Day, but I got him a whole slew of things for Father's Day for his trip and an Xbox game he wanted. I also planned each of those days by myself. And he just went to the other side of the country, and all he thought to grab for me was a card game. I didn't want to fight in front of our friends, so I let it be. I didn't really expect more than that anyway, but it still hurt. Then I went back to work and things were meh. Anything he did irritated me. Anything his mom did irritated me. I was getting so frustrated, sad, angry, and just not myself. Then I had a medical issue, something that pokes its little head back up every 5 years like clockwork, but I had been ignoring it because of everything going on. Come back and I went to our urgent care to take care of it. But I had to take care of all sorts of things first so that me going to the doctor didn't hamper my husband's day, so I was really irritated in the morning. It didn't help that his mom came over and I just can't handle her right now. It also didn't help that he told me that morning about all the plans he had come up with for our son's birthday in a few weeks. I was mad at myself for being upset. I should be stoked my husband is thinking about our son and wanting to give him a great birthday party, but I was so deflated, sad, and angry, in that moment. But he had to go to work so I left it alone. So before I went, I sent him a text apologizing for being irritated. I told him that I'm not in a good place mentally or physically, and I'm really struggling. He asked how he could help, and I responded that I really didn't know. And then I saw the doctor, and he referred me to surgery. This will be the third time I have had surgery for this. I was so frustrated and sad and hurt, I decided to just put it all out there. And since he can't seem to find the time to actually talk to me, I texted him a novel, laying out everything that is on my mind. The trip, my birthday, him not taking time, my son's birthday, all of it. After an hour he had not responded, so I sent him another text saying that maybe he could just tell me I'm not crazy and we will get through this together, or something like that at least. He responded to that saying that he loves me and has lots to say but can't say it over the phone. So then I went to work and did the things. I felt a little better. He didn't discredit all of my frustrations, so things were okay. That night he called to tell me he loved me and was going to take the next day off to spend with me. It was also my day off. I was pretty darn stoked. The next day I asked him what were the things he wanted to say. And he said he didn't want to say it in front of the kids. So then that night I asked him again, and he said that we have been having such a great day, he didn't want to ruin it, and me get all emotional, so he wasn't going to say it then. I felt like I had just been punched in the gut. So wait, you have been so nice since I texted you, but now I'm going to be sad and upset? What is going on? It is now the next day, and I just asked him again. He completely blew me off and went to town to pick up our son from camp. I am at a loss. I don't know what to do. I can only ask him to talk to me so many times. He doesn't share his thoughts or emotions often, but I would think he would do it now, right? I don't know what to do. Relevant comments. Comment 1, holy crap, you're not even an afterthought to this guy. You don't have any importance in his life. You're just there. He'll just tell you stuff to get you off his case and then just keep ignoring you. OP, that is definitely how I feel. Comment 2, I think that woman on the trip was more important than he's letting on. His mother would not be welcome in my house again until she apologizes to my face. No more trips alone for any reason for a very long time. He needs to have consequences and you're letting him coast. He's trying to wait you out. Comment 3, I don't know why you just keep letting things go, and deluding yourself that you're in a good place. Your husband was in a hotel room with a younger woman for days. He gaslit you that it's no big deal and acting like you're the crazy one for thinking it's a problem. In what world are things okay after that? How much of a doormat has he made you that one conversation blows that over? Your mother-in-law set him up to cheat on you. In no world is him sharing a room with a younger single woman appropriate. He knows that. She knows that. If you think he's a good boy, I don't know what kind of blinders you have on or Kool-Aid you're drinking, but stop. He blew off your birthday. He couldn't even muster going to the grocery store, let alone sending some texts. He was away from you for 2 weeks and couldn't even bring you some postcards from along the way? My son was on a school trip for 4 days. He brought me all kinds of little things because he was in a gas station and saw this pretty postcard I would like. Or at this gift shop and thought that keychain was something I would like. So, your husband is less considerate than a teenager on a school trip with all his teenage buddies? You lay it all out there via text and again, he blows you off. Gives you some love bombing in the form of family time, and expects to sweep it under the rug. He's hoping to wait you out before you find out what he actually did in that hotel room. Or how many times he's met that woman before. Or just to make sure he can feed you lies after betraying your marriage with his mom's help and you'll just ignore it. At some point, you have to acknowledge you have a bad husband and a very unhealthy marriage. How many ways does he have to show you you're not a priority? He doesn't respect you, and he could not care less about your feelings before you believe him. In what world can he plan out trips and his son's birthdays, but not put even a little effort into his wife's birthday? Especially after he knew she was already mad at him. Like if you know your wife is mad at you, that's when you want to go all out on birthdays and stuff. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.